Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. It's the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Studio Series Leader Class Optimus Primal, as he appeared in the Transformers Rise of the Beasts film. And this is one I was definitely looking forward to. Essentially completing our Studio Series collection of the Maximals from the film. It seems that Hasbro decided to save the best for last. For the package, as you can see, really large box here. You got a gorgeous image of Primal right there with the Transformers text, the Generation logo. You can see he's Studio Series number 106. The side section here has an up-close image of him. He's very aggressive with his very cool green eyes. Absolutely love it. The other side here has a more pullback image of him in his robot mode. Interestingly enough, with his face mask. But he doesn't have the face mask on the actual toy. But when you come to the back, you can see you got images of him in his ape as well as his robot mode, all of his accessories, the fact that he transforms in 34 steps, and then as he is part of the Studio Series line, he does come with a backdrop, which of course is always fun and exciting. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright, so here we have the new Voyager class Optimus Primal from Transformers Rise of the Beasts, open up out of his packaging and in his gorilla mode. And I gotta be honest, I don't really know if I agree with the leader class price point for this. He does come with a bunch of different accessories here, which obviously is going to increase the part count. And the overall engineering of the figure is pretty good, but I feel like he's more in between like a Voyager and a leader class figure. Figure-wise, he's definitely Voyager scale. And then, like I said, with a lot of the extra accessories and stuff, I can see that he's going to be a little bit more, but not at that full leader class price point. For his accessories, he does come with his very common swords. If you've had an Optimus Primal figure in the past, you basically know what to expect with these. These are really nice. They're kind of swooping and everything. You got this beautiful silver paint. They're sculpted in this dark gray plastic, which looks really well. You got this dark gray, and then you got this lighter gray section. They're very, very nice. I absolutely love them. You do get the 2, which is wonderful. You also do get the Transwarp key, which is nice. Coming in to take a closer look, I dig this. Great detail on there. You can see that you got a little bit of that orange color in there, and then some nice silver bits on there. One thing that's also really nice about this, it's not easy to do, but you kind of wiggle it a little bit, and you can actually separate it, much like it's separated in the movie. That's kind of cool to do, or be able to do. I like that. It very much reminds me, though, of the Matrix of leadership, but it does peg in there very tightly. So, like I said, just kind of wiggle, and then you can separate it. But do be careful when you're doing it. But I love the fact that they put that kind of attention to detail in this and allow you to separate it like in the film. Now, these next 2 accessories, while you can use them for Primal, realistically, they're actually designed for other characters. This is Optimus Prime's axe that he had in the film. And I like the fact that it had... Now, I have no idea why. You can see you got a pin right here, and this is a separate piece. I literally have no idea, because it doesn't move or anything. I have no idea why they did that. That's really weird, other than maybe they'll replace this with something else in the future. But Optimus Prime, now the only one that I have is the one that I like the most, and this is from the Bumblebee movie. He can hold it, but you have to push it all the way down. You can see that the handle's pretty thin. Pushing it all the way down, you can get that on there. So that's cool that you get like an extra accessory for Primal, or for Optimus Prime. That's neat. And then this is like a chain weapon. You can see you can attach it right there at the middle, so you got 2 different pieces. This is actually designed for Battle Trap. Specifically, his giant mace weapon here. So removing that, you can see that there's this little tiny face. Have you noticed that there's a face right there? That's terrifying. You got this little hole right here. Obviously, it separates, but you have this little hole section right here that you can take this, plug that in, and now you saw him kind of whipping that around and fighting the Autobots and everything, and then I think it was actually Primal that ripped this off and then bashed his head in. So you get an extra sort of thing for him. That's cool. I dig the fact that they decided to kind of include some extra accessories that you can give to other figures. I think that's actually pretty smart to do. Now, for Primal himself, this is really very nice. Now, these arms, I do a little bit differently. I like them like this. I think the actual instructions have you doing it like this and then having that rotated around like that. Where this is the outside of it, and I could be mistaken, but I think the instructions have it like that. I think it looks better like this. And going back and looking at some of the actual footage, one thing about Primal is that this is not how he looked in the film. There's a lot of aspects that are different on him, but from what people are saying, this is more designed to look like a concept image of him. And I just like having these bulkier forearm pieces on the outside. I think it looks a little bit better. I think it looks cooler, honestly. Now, getting him to stand here, obviously you're just gonna kind of put that there. You can lift his head up a little bit. I don't like that you can't really get him looking a little bit more. I mean, I guess you could bring these leg sections a little bit further back and get it. Not even really. I don't know. Like, it's a good figure. Do not get me wrong at all. But there's definitely some aspects of them that I think that could have been done a little bit better. Primarily here with these animal mode back legs. It just kind of, I'm like, you can get them like that. But again, you're not going to get his head completely. Well, that's a little bit better. But you can do something like that. Now, for some comparisons with the Studio Series, here is the Maximals that we got. We have Cheetor. Got my boy, Rhinox. And the poor, sweet, corrupt, hitting my camera, Air Razor. And this is a great group. I absolutely love it. Now, I did mention that, you know, this basically completes the Maximals from the film. To a degree, it does. These are the primary ones, but obviously we're going to have a remold and probably repaint of Primal to give us Ape Link, which will officially kind of complete all of them, but I love the way that these guys look. You have a Voyager figure, a Leader figure, another Voyager, and a Deluxe, and I think that the scale here works very, very nicely. I'm very happy with it. For the most part, this is a great sort of representation of these characters. Not the best, obviously, but again, well, I mean, even though that the Studio Series is meant to kind of be like the best representation, I feel it'll be a couple years before we'll get real good versions of these guys, much like all the other Studio Series figures. You know, the earlier releases usually give way to better representations at some point in time, and I definitely think that'll be the case with these guys. I guess, at least I'm hopeful that we will. But overall, great detail on this. That head sculpt coming in is phenomenal. Great sculpted in detail. Gorgeous green for the eyes. Kind of part that sucks is he does have a mouth section right here that can open, which is fantastic, because but it's not painted. That's really unfortunate. But I love the texture on there. The sculpted in fur work looks really good. All the wrinkles throughout the whole thing, amazing. Even when you look at like the chest and all that, great sculpted in detail there. You got these shoulder bits that have that fur texture. Same thing down here with this little forearm section. Overall, really very good. Like I said, though, I don't like the way that these back legs kind of come together. I mean, I definitely think that they could be better. And yet, obviously, you got these that are just hanging out there. Do I even have those claps all the way up? I think I do. The robot mode legs are just hanging out there, which does get a little bit ugly, but nice toesies, even on the underside, nice sculpted in detail for the toesies. Decent, you know, overall look, I would say, especially like in this front section. The back section does get a little bit ugly. It's just the way that it is. Kind of disappointing, but, you know, I'm still overall quite pleased with the general look. Now, the articulation on him is actually really good. You don't, I mean, you do get left and right, but it's not going to look left and right when he's like that. So, up and down and everything. The shoulders, you do have a nice butterfly joint for the beast mode here that you can kind of do in robot mode, although it's going to be backwards. So you do have that, the forward and back, the swivel. These obviously are going to become his robot mode arms, so a lot of articulation there. The hands do have nice articulation as well. I mean, obviously at a leader class price point, you can put those in there. You do have the fingers. I'm trying to pull that out. The pointer finger is individually articulated. Oh no, it's like this. That's weirdly articulated, but you do have detail there with the articulation. Nothing really at the waist. It is kind of locked into place, and then these legs kind of move forward and back. They're the robot mode legs, so a little articulation, but you kind of want to keep it up like that just to kind of go along with the overall sculpt here. These little legs, these can kind of move around, so if you wanted to, you can straighten that out and get him to stand, which he walked around quite a bit like this, so you can do that. Let me make sure that that's kind of straightened out right. So you could definitely do that if you really wanted to. He did walk, like I said, on his hind legs quite often in the film, and we only saw him briefly in the robot mode in that final battle. So you definitely could do that, and he has a cool look to him, just standing like there. It's like King Kong with a mix of robotness and just badassery. But for the most part, Beast Mode looks solid. I'm happy with it. Could it be better? Absolutely. But for the most part, I think it turned out pretty well. Now, the transformation for this guy is, in my opinion, where the leader aspect of him really does come into play. He's a fairly involved figure, which is quite impressive. There is definitely some elements that are very similar, but some that are done that are different, which are really very cool. Coming down here first to the legs, because he's already kind of extended like this, just getting these arms lifted up and out of the way. Basically, you need to kind of pull this away. It tabs in along the back section. Pull this, and then you want to separate that piece here. And you're going to extend the legs all the way down, just like so. And then as you do it, you're going to want to rotate this piece around, bringing that all the way down. And then this will kind of fold up and collapse there. And then you want to bring this in, and you got a little tab section on the inside here that you kind of wiggle away. Get that in there. Kind of get that, fold that forward. And then you gotta kind of bring this in, and this is going to lock in up here. Make sure all that's kind of straight. There we go. This part right here, you just kind of swivel that up there. And then this kind of comes in. You got to make sure that you get that. There you go. Kind of shift that in, put that up just like that. And then you come around here to the bottom. This part does get a little bit tricky to do because you got a little heel section right here. Pull that out just like that. Straighten that out. You have one of his legs done. So again, bring this out. This is going to hinge all the way down. Kind of rotate the foot back. Move that away. And then hinge this. Here you got this little knee section with a rounded section that you're just going to bring that there. And then bring this all the way back. Sit that there. And then this is going to come up. Again, this part here does get a little bit annoying. You're going to bring this around. Shift that. Kind of fiddle with this a little bit. Get that lifted up. And get this to kind of pop in there. Something like that. And then that is, there's not a very good grip section on this. And literally I'm wasting time. So, you know you're supposed to fold that out. That it is what it is. Now, come around here to this chest section here. You want to pull this, or the back section, realistically. Lift that, just kind of loosen that up, just like that. And then this piece here will shift up and then rotate around. Just like that. And it will sit along that back section. Just kind of leave that there. And then this head area, again, come around here, detach from the crotch section, pull this away, and then rotate that piece around. Then this whole area, kind of make sure that that stays like that, and then you want to bring this up and over. Then you can pull this part away. Lift this. This is the part that is very similar to what we've gotten before. You're going to rotate this up, kind of bring the head up, bring the head down, set it in there, bring that, close that back up, and now you have the robot head out there. These arms, as you can see, were backwards, basically. So now you're going to come around here to this section and straighten those out, and we'll fiddle with that here in a second. But this piece right here then comes back up. Keep that there. And then this is going to kind of sit right there. And then this will shift down. And you got a little post on the inside here, which you'll put that in, locking that into place. There we go. So now you basically have them done, but now you're going to do some crazy stuff with these arms. So this is actually really kind of fun to do. You're going to want to lift this piece up just like that. Just kind of get that out of the way for right now. And then take this, bring this up, bring this section up like that. Now when you do this, this is naturally going to want to rotate around. But the problem is, though, these hands can only really rotate when they're positioned like this. So make sure that the bottom section or the back section of the fist is facing down. And then you can rotate this again. Rotate this up in, tuck that inside there. This piece is going to come over there. And then this will rotate on the back. Here, wait, let's see. Did I get that in there right? Bring that in. Just like, oh, wait. Maybe, no, sorry. Fist down now. There we go. Oh, you also have to make sure that that's completely collapsed. I forgot that part. So bring this in. Just like that. Bring that up. And then this will lock down right there. Maybe if you don't have it all the way kind of shifted, and I definitely feel like I don't have that there. There we go. Bring that right there. There we go. And now you can bring this piece down, and this will cover that bit there. Now this is the part where, like, I will then rotate that fist around, and I'm not getting that in there all the way. I like keeping this like this, I'll be honest. So let me clean this up a second. Okay, sorry. Again, I'm getting this all mixed up. So you got this like this. Bring this all the way down. Bring this up, and then that will lock in right there. And then you take this, put that covering up this little gap area, and then rotate his fist around. I like having it like this. I think that the actual instructions show it like this. But I like keeping this outer section for the beast mode. I think that it looks more robotic by having this on the outer section. That's just personal preference, but because the elbow bends both ways, it works. So again, come over here, pull this away, lift this piece up like that. This piece is going to come out like that, and I'm going to rotate that. Get that. Yeah, there we get that. Well, no, I don't want to rotate that, but you're going to bring this there. And I always get this messed up, so I'm sure it'll be fun. Oh, and then get this. Sorry. Rotate that. There we go. And then bring that down. No, again. There we go. There we go. Is that completely collapsed? Yep. Bring that there. Bring that there. This will then tab down. Bring that down. Bring this section down. And then rotate that fist. Like I said, I just think that looks more robotic. I dig that kind of look. But when you're done, there you have Optimus Primal in this very cool looking robot mode. And honestly, I like this mode a lot more than his beast mode. And like I said, while I do like the way that the beast mode turned out, there are certainly aspects that I think that they could have done better. Robot mode here, though, looks fantastic. One thing that I will say is that it is more designed to replicate how, like, some of the concept art look. Like, for example, you can really see a lot of the difference in the chest area. This is not how Primal's chest looked in the film. But the overall design on him is still really very, very cool. Great detail all the way around. That fur texture that was very prominent in the beast mode still carries on here and still looks really very good. And honestly, has the best look of any of the Studio Series Rise of the Beast figures. Now, setting him here, doing the comparison, Airazor is fine, except we never saw her in her robot mode. Cheetor looks pretty good. Rhinox looks pretty good. But again, I feel like given time, they can do a better representation. And we've seen that before. Some of the earlier Studio Series figures were replaced by newer versions that they were able to take a little bit more time with and create a better, more accurate representation. But for the most part, I think these guys look pretty good. Now, setting these ones off to the side just a little bit and bringing in another comparison. Here he is next to Optimus Prime, and this is again where you're really kind of seeing that he's pretty much a Voyager scale figure. These two guys, as well as Optimus, are Voyagers. Airazor being the only one that's a deluxe, but you can see that the size is definitely there. I think, like I said, the engineering and the part count is where this guy really kind of goes into that leader class price point. But hell, even this guy was pretty massively engineered. So, I don't know. I gotta believe that maybe it's because of the extra accessories and such. But even that seems like a bit of a stretch. Now coming in to take a closer look at the details, again, really very solid. That head sculpt is absolutely gorgeous. Very, very cool. But like I was talking about, the chest design is definitely different than what we saw in the film itself, but it still doesn't look bad really by any stretch. Talked about the textural detail, which looks really good. All the way around, there's a very insane amount of detail that's really kind of thrown into this guy. I'm very happy with it. The swords look really good. I'm just going to get those out of the way here. But all the way around, even if you choose to kind of display the arm like this, which, I mean, what do you think? I mean, obviously, some of the beast mode elements are going to be here. So you got that little furry bit here. What do you guys think? Do you like this with the arm position like that for robot mode? And then that for beast mode, or kind of the same? What are your thoughts on it? I'm curious. But like I said, great detail all the way around. I even like how when you come down to the legs, there's some asymmetry to it, kind of really showing off some of that battle damage that he had. Very, very cool. And then yeah, I still didn't get the heel out on that one. But overall, like I said, great amount of detail and paint. That's one thing that really stands out as well. Even though that it's just very simple paint applications, really looks good. I mean, even with the gray section, I think it matches pretty decently. Articulation-wise, the head is on a bit of a ball joint, so you can get a little up and down. It is very stiff on mine, left and right, all of that is there. The shoulders, kind of as part of the beast mode, can swivel outward, but that does kind of help with some of the dynamic posing. It doesn't swivel forward, at least here in robot mode, but you can still do different things. This bit gets out of the way. You can swivel, hinge, all of that is there. You got a swivel at the upper part of the bicep, bends fully at the elbow as well. Come down to the actual hands, you can rotate that all the way around, and then you can open these fingers. So again, kind of going towards that leader class sort of thing where you get articulated hands and all that. That's all well and good. Get that back down. No, I just pop that whole thing on there and get that down there. He does rotate here at the waist. The hips do move forward and back. In and out, they rotate at the upper section of the thigh. He does bend at the knee, but when you're doing it, just kind of be careful because it tends to kind of like popping things out. So just into that forward and back sparingly. You do have ankle tilt. It does kind of move forward and back as part of the transformation as well. Well, not really forward. A little bit forward, but not a ton. So overall, good level of articulation. You're going to be able to get a lot of real good poses with this guy. He does have a very heavy feel to him, so you can, I wonder if I can do a crazy, well, that was actually pretty damn easy to do. But you can see that you can pull off a lot of really good poses with him, which is very impressive. I am quite happy with it. So, for me, beast mode, solid. Robot mode, though, here is where I think he really shines. Now, transformation back, just kind of straightening out his head and everything. First, what you're going to do is get these arms kind of out of the way, and we're going to start with the legs. So you just take this section here, you're going to separate all of this, fold that down, and then this whole piece will be able to kind of extend out and away. And then you want to take these feet and rotate this up. Well, let's see, let's get that back. You're going to rotate all this around, so keep that there, and then as that comes up, this is going to, you're going to hinge this upwards like that, and then just kind of rotate this all the way around. Oh wait, keep it like that. Rotate that. Let's see, point that, and then just rotate that all the way in like so, and then that's just going to kind of hinge right there, and then just get that completely straightened out like that. Now this part right here, you got a little tab section here that's going to lock this in, so just kind of bring this up as well, give that a good little push right there, and then make sure that that foot gets all the way collapsed, and then take this, rotate that there, and then just kind of leave it like that. So again, we're going to hinge this back, fold this, very stiff joints on this, fold that, oh, take that little piece, tuck that down, and then, like I said, fold this all the way up there, and then this will collapse in and tab in along that section there, and then tuck that down, and then just bring that all the way down. There we go, keep that there. And we'll fiddle with these little beast legs here in a bit, but just kind of keep it just like that for right now. That's perfectly fine. They come around here to the back, take that, lift that up, and separate this. Take this piece, kind of straighten that, and then this will rotate around, but it does get tricky to kind of do. And then that, there we go. Bring that all the way down, and then that's going to sit flush here in a second. And then take this, fold this out like that, bring the head up, rotate this forward so that you can spin it all the way around, and then rotate the head, and then collapse that back down. And then this is going to come over and collapse right back there, and then this comes over, and then kind of keep the head positioned back so that you can bring the clearance for this all the way around. And then this will pretty much just line up where it needs to and lock down. Perfect, just like that. Make sure that this little back thing is nice and flush as well. Then come around here to the front, take this piece, this is going to fold up, rotate around, and that'll collapse down right there. Now we can come down to the arms. Basically you have most of them done, but these arms though, again, really very fun. Make sure that the fists are completely collapsed in. If they're not, it won't rotate properly. But then you want to, let's see, it's kind of weird because it kind of rotates everything. This is, yeah, that's how we want it. This is that. Now we're going to rotate this so that it's spun around. Oh, I cut myself. Bring this up, hinge that right there, and then open this piece up, and then this will swivel around. And then make sure that the fist, when you're doing it, you have to rotate this. So you have to rotate the fist all the way around so that the backside is right there, and then you can rotate that just like that, and then fold that down. This will come up and slot into place there, and then that will, oh wait, bring this up, here we go, bring that down like that, and then that will sit right there, and then bring this down. Now you got the beast foot fist out like so. So again, bring this out, take this piece here, fold that out, rotate this around, oh, bring this piece out like that, lift that up, bring this up, and then you want to bring that around, rotate that, and then fold it all the way here, and then bring this piece down like that, and then bring that and collapse that. Let's see, get that there, yeah, it sits there, and that will collapse down just like that, and take that, fold that there. There we go. So now you got the beast out there. And now you have Primal back in his beast mode, and I guess you can kind of leave it like that. I mean, it's personal preference. I do really like the guy. I definitely think that he could be better, especially here in the beast mode. Mostly like in the way that the feet are. It's not that he's a bad figure by any stretch of the imagination. He really isn't. I just really think though that it's not as good as it could be. And a lot of it probably has to do with the fact that they didn't have the final design, so there's a lot of extra stuff that they would need to do, all that fun stuff. I do definitely think that we're going to get a better version at some point in time. I would hope that we'll get a better version at some point in time. It would be a big shame if we didn't. Time will tell, though, I think. Ultimately, do I recommend him? If you're a fan of the film, then I think that this is one that you would definitely want to add to your collection. I really don't know if I'm going to ultimately want to keep him in my collection, just because I do feel like a better version will come out eventually. Hopefully, I guess. So I would pick him up just to kind of have him and see where it goes. And then if they do release a better one, you know, maybe you could sell them or something like that. That's what I do with a lot of my stuff. As new versions come out, I replace them, honestly. But there you go, guys. There's my look at the new Leader Class Optimus Primal from Transformers Rise of the Beast. If you'd like to add him to your collection, he is available right now online at places like Big Bad Toy Store. So for that, I'll put a link right down there in the video description, where you can swing on by and check out availability on him, as well as the rest of the wide range of Transformer figures. Once again, as always, if you like this video, I would really appreciate it if you would hit that thumbs up button. And if you're new and don't want to miss another review, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. And until next time, this is Optibotimus saying adios, au revoir, and auf Wiedersehen.